From the first officially reported case in 1986, the HIV/AIDS epidemic in Africa's most populous country, Nigeria, spiraled to an estimated 3.5 million people living with HIV in 2003, effectively placing the nation third after South Africa and India in the infamous ranking of countries with the highest burden of HIV in the world. Nationally, there have been well-coordinated efforts by the Nigerian government to stem the spread of the disease and provide care for the infected through the establishment of a Presidential Council on AIDS and the National Action Committee on AIDS, NACA. International donor agencies like the United Nations and World Bank are also consistently injecting funds towards fighting the disease with marked results. For example, from a 5.8% HIV prevalence in 2001, the figure declined to 5% in 2003 and a further 4.4% in 2005 when the last biennial seroprevalence survey was conducted in Nigeria. Although this is an encouraging situation, the sheer number of people infected by HIV, currently put at 2.9 million Nigerians, as well as the societal and developmental problems that usually arise due to incapacitation or death of victims, is quite overwhelming to a country which, despite its oil wealth, is regarded as one of the poorest in the world. Gede Foundation, created in 2002 by Mrs. Jamila Atiku Abubakar, is one of several NGOs, civil society groups and private organizations that sprang up to complement government efforts and help address profound health and social needs of vulnerable groups fundamentally affected by HIV/AIDS, especially children who are the hardest hit.
When we first started, we said we were going to work with women and children, offer scholarships, grants and nutrition and all of those kinds of things to help people afflicted by HIV/AIDS.
To accomplish this, the foundation developed and implemented programs that address some of the greatest needs of the Nigerian people in particular and Africa in general, such as offering scholarships and grants, training and capacity building, provision of clinical and laboratory services, counseling and diagnostic services, as well as donations of equipment and drugs to hospitals and communities. Gede Foundation organized a number of local, national and international seminars, training workshops and conferences for local and village organizations, mass media, health institutions and corporate organizations on issues like creating awareness on HIV and infectious diseases, diagnostic and treatment strategies, stigma and discrimination and other such issues to consistently help build healthy communities in Nigeria and other parts of West Africa. Through its clinic and laboratory services, Gede Foundation is providing qualitative clinical care for those infected and affected by HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria and other diseases. Alongside the clinical services, the foundation provides diagnostic services, antiretroviral drugs and effective therapeutic monitoring at affordable rates for people on antiretroviral therapy. This is in addition to pre- and post-test counseling for those undertaking HIV screening or are on antiretroviral therapy. Gede Foundation set up the Orphan and Vulnerable Children's Program to increase accessibility of orphans to education and marketable skills.
We have the scholarship program, which is for orphans and vulnerable children, HIV/AIDS orphans and vulnerable children. That program offers scholarship to them, school fees, that's nutrition, uniform, books, and other items that they need for school, as well as the skills. Some are too old to go to school. They are already heads of their households. They cannot afford to go to school, so they want to learn and some other skills, that can enable them earn some money when they are through. Sewing, knitting and all that.
Working with support groups in Nigeria, the foundation in 2003 identified 150 children orphaned by AIDS, out of which 21 most vulnerable ones were awarded scholarships in primary and secondary schools.
Since I lost my parents, they've been helping me because while in the previous years in my school, if the time for examination comes, and I'll be among those that have not paid, and while others will be writing examination, they will be delaying me, and I can't be able to write it. But since Gede Foundation came into my side and they made me to be among those that will be proud while others are writing, I'll be bold enough to go into the examination hall to write mine. And when the result comes out, they will give me the result without no stress.
Similarly, in the 2005-2006 project year, more than 220 orphans within support groups were identified, while 80 most vulnerable among them were selected for enrollment into vocational training schools where they will acquire life support skills. In a survey among HIV/AIDS support groups across 6 selected states of Nigeria, Gede Foundation discovered that very little is being done on orphan and vulnerable children by governments and NGOs, even though their number is steadily increasing. To maintain support for the vulnerable children, therefore, more funding is needed on a sustainable basis, while governments and other international donor agencies must pay more attention to this special group affected by the debilitating effect of HIV/AIDS.
For instance, there are 1 million HIV/AIDS orphans. Gede Foundation alone cannot cater to 1 million HIV/AIDS orphans. And so I think other foundations and other institutions that are engaged in this work should be encouraged to add more clients to their base. And other people also should be encouraged to do something, even if they don't do it by directly working with the people, but at least directly donating to people who do serious work, because there are many organizations in Nigeria, for instance, that actually do good work and do serious work but are hampered by limited resources.